Good morning, wonderful, amazing, phenomenal, fantastic actors and actresses and performers alike. Welcome to the Actors Area. I'm your host, Sean Robert Grant. Happy to be here with you, as always. Happy to be sharing the insights of the acting world and all these wonderful things. And I first want to get started off on a different note because it springs up something that we have to remember that's so important. And, that comes down to, I don't know if you've heard or not, but there was a shooting in Jacksonville, Florida at a video game tournament. And I know a few people had passed. And it's just troubling. It's troubling because just when you think we're on track as a society, and we're doing well and everything's great, and not that it has always ever been really great, something just ridiculous happens, and that's just ridiculous, and it's senseless, and it's a shame, and all the people that lost their lives, I totally believe that, but at the same time, I do believe in the soul choosing its destiny, so it may not make sense from a human's perspective, but from a spiritual perspective, it's what was meant to be. But at the same time, it's one of those things. It got me thinking about all of the stuff we can stress over on a daily basis. Got me thinking about all the stuff that we can find ourselves being upset about that are so minuscule and so minor, and they're not even things that we should even ever lose energy over, right? So when I think about something of that magnitude that involves the loss of life, it really, really kind of recalibrates how I see life and how I approach it. And I want to share that with you today because sometimes it just takes an experience like that to put you back into a place where you really want to make the most of the time you have here. And I know it sounds so cliche. And, it sounds like, oh, well, you hear this all the time. You just never know. You never really know when your time is going to be to leave this earth, to leave this world. So you want to take every single moment possible to leave a legacy, to help people while you were here, to be able to smile on the other side because you did exactly what you desired to do every single day of your life. That is what strikes me when I see something senseless like this happening. Now, I pray that I'm here till when I'm 100, but at the same time, I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. People can guess. People can go see psychics and ask and wonder, but you just don't know. So you just really have to take the bull by the horns and ride it as much as you possibly can. And what I mean by that, dive in. Dive into what you desire. Dive into what you really want. Dive into the thing that's going to make you happy. Dive in to the thing that's going to bring you to allow your passion and your joy to well up. I was reading an amazing book last night. It was basically talking about, suffering used to be the best teacher, but now joy, Joy, is the best teacher. And the reason being is because wherever you find joy, follow it. Wherever you find joy, that's where you need to be because that is what's going to take you to a place to where you can experience the life that you want to experience, not the life that you're supposed to live. Okay? So dive in. Whatever it is, go for it. Just go for it, There's no time to waste, nothing to think about. Just go for it. Trust your intuition. Do your best. and continue to move in a place that's going to not only elevate you, but elevate everybody else around you. Which brings me to the topic of today's podcast: why actors should stop at nothing to help other actors. So I'm going to share with you an instance that happened one time recently. It was about a situation where I came across some information where somebody was saying basically actors know nothing else about helping actors. And same for actresses, because I know I always say actors and actresses. I mean actresses too here. But the individual saying actors know nothing about helping other actors. Bullshit. I call bullshit completely because, and the funny thing is that this is an individual who is an actor themselves or actress, and they have the nerve to say actors know nothing about helping other actors, and then you're charging $500 for like 4 sessions, and you're telling me that actors don't know anything about helping actors, so I'm just going to give you my money so you can show me how to not know anything else about acting? Like, come on. And it was so contradictory, the statement. And what it showed me is because, so I'm very intuitive, especially when it comes to people, and I look directly between the lines, past the veil. I'm never in a situation where I'm ever taking things face value unless the energy matches up. There's people who will lie to you all day long, smile, and have some of the worst intentions underneath. And this is another reason, other than becoming a powerhouse in auditioning, why you should develop your intuition. But anyway, so I see this, and it just bothers me because, why wouldn't another actor who's had success, who's been doing it for a while, able to teach or coach or enlighten another actor who's trying to follow the same path? That's like the best person you would want to go and see. I'll give you an example. If somebody said, okay, you have the opportunity to go see or to spend a day with Will Smith or spend a day with one of the biggest agencies in Hollywood, who would you pick? Easily Will Smith. Why? Because Will Smith is an actor. Yeah, I know like the agency can do all the stuff that they can do and they got all these connections and stuff. But at the end of the day, let me tell you something. I had an agent for 2 years that was a tech guy. He wasn't even in a theater drama class in high school. He was a tech guy his entire life and decided that he was going to be in a space to where he was going to be an agent. And so he did an amazing job. Don't get me wrong. Did an amazing job. But then there were some things where he kind of fell short because he wasn't an actor. He wasn't a performer, so he couldn't understand. So my thing is, and it's the same with casting directors. Like, I get it. They're casting you. They're the ones like deciding for the most part if you get the job or not. But if they've never been in a space to where they can be in your shoes, where you're standing in front of that panel of people, like, how can you teach me? Other than to tell me where you got to be right for the role, or you got to make sure that, you're hitting your mark and all this other stuff. Yeah, that's technical. But when I want something intuitive, when I want something organic, I want to be talking to the person, to the individual who has been through that, who has stood in front of directors, who has stood in front of producers, who has done the screen tests, who's been nervous, but still has been courageous enough to fight those nerves and move through it. That is who I want to help me. I have absolutely nothing against an agent, a casting director, or a manager giving me advice. I have nothing against that. But if I'm honest, the best person that can help me is the person who's doing what I'm doing or has done what I've done. And so that brought me to the title. I was going to do something totally different. And then I had came across this, and I remember how I wanted to talk about it. And I'm like, this is what sparked me into teaching, into the whole audition process, because I understand. I still audition to this day. I still go on these sets and do these things because I know what it is you're going through when you go in and you have nerves and you don't have a good audition and you want to just punch the wall afterwards. Maybe not that, but you want to get down on yourself and you just don't know what to do. So because I've been in your shoes and because I know, I'm going to be able to feel and to connect, right? What is happening inside of you. And if I can connect to that, then I can help you to overcome it and get back on your high horse and keep moving in the right direction. So if that's the case, then what's the issue? The issue comes in because a lot of actors are in a space of being completely competitive. And when I tell you, I flipped on my TV the other day. I don't watch much TV anymore. I used to watch a lot, but just don't really watch it too much anymore. And I mean, when you see all of the outlets, not to mention what's online, but there are so many outlets for actors and actresses to get in and to do their thing. It is just staggering to think about where things have moved from 10 years ago to now. Because 10 years ago, we didn't have Amazon Prime. We didn't have Netflix was in the infancy stage, didn't have Hulu, didn't have any of that stuff. But now, I mean, you got so many different levels and outlets to act in. It's amazing. So even when these outlets weren't available, when you look at things from a spiritual perspective, you just have to be on a creative plane. And I'm telling you the truth. This is how this goes. If this is your purpose, if this is what you're supposed to be doing, it doesn't matter who gets what role, who gets any amount of money, you will succeed at this. If this is in your heart, if this is your purpose, and the universe has confirmed that, you will succeed no matter how many actors and actresses are out there. It may take some time, yeah, but you will succeed. You will succeed and you will rise higher than you could have ever imagined because this is your purpose. And when you're fulfilling your purpose and following your passion, you can't help but to exceed. Nobody can get in the way other than yourself. And so you understand that when you live in Hollywood or you live in England or you live in New York or you live in Atlanta now and Chicago and all these places where there's 20 million actors in the city and there's only 10 million. I mean, it was 20 million actors and there's only 10 million people in the city. So people are coming from all these places to try and act. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because if it's your passion, that creativity, the creative element within us, God, the universe, will make sure that you succeed at it. Okay? So my point was, a lot of times actors don't help actors because of the competitive element. And that's useless. That's futile because, we all need to help each other. We all need to help each other. I don't care, who's booking what. It can be somebody, it's interesting because my cousin is a really, really famous actor. Just was in Aquaman and Baywatch and so many different movies. I mean, The Get Down was the most notable one. That's kind of like his really big break. But anyway, he came to my house. We had a party. And he came over to my house because he was in town. And we were talking. And we were just having a conversation. And, it meant so much because here's a guy that's like in movies that people are dreaming about. Hell, I'll be honest with you. I'm dreaming about being in films like that. But at the same time, I'm like super, 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 super happy for him. He's in these biggest films and we're having a conversation about acting. And he's telling me, stuff that he's learning by what I'm like being able to tell him, or just not even like telling, I'm sharing what I feel and he's learning from me. And this is a guy that's like booking all these big roles and he's still learning from me. And you know what that taught me? That taught me that no matter where you are or how many roles you're booking or how many roles you're not booking or how many years you've been in the game, you can always share advice and insight with a fellow actor or actress and basically change their entire perspective or point of view on things. It's amazing how that can happen, right? It's amazing. You just have to offer it up. It can start as a regular conversation and then you offer it up and then somebody just gets the light bulb coming on and like, you know what? I never really looked at it that way, but that makes so much sense. And that is what's supposed to happen. That is what's supposed to unfold. This is why actors should stop at nothing to help other actors. And when they're not trying to, you know what? You don't need to be around that person anyway, because eventually they will need help from somebody. And that's just the way it goes. You reap what you sow, whether you like it or not. That's how the universe works. If you're going to put out selfishness, that's exactly what you're going to get back. So for me, let's say you're in a place where, like we talked about earlier, you have the opportunity to learn from big name agent or an actor who's been successful, who's booked, who's done stuff, who's consistently done stuff. I guarantee you, if you go with the actor, if you choose the actor to learn from, you will be better off. And this is nothing to take away from the agent or the casting director, but it's important for people to understand what you feel, right? Unless this agent is like a former actor, it's important for people to understand what you feel when you're going through the gauntlet. It's important for them to not only understand, but to connect. See, that's the missing link, is the connection. If the connection is there, then we are on point. See, that's where my whole intuitive thing comes in, because the moment I meet an actor or an actress and I start talking to them, I can already see what's going on inside, because the intuition is filtering information to me about who they are, who they believe themselves to be, who they want to be, what they desire, and I can connect to that immediately. That's another element that you don't find too much in somebody who's only geared towards business. Business is only one aspect of it, right? It's only one aspect of it. There's the intuitive part. There's the creative part. There's the social part. There's like so many elements to this that you want someone who's going to be able to tell you or to show you that they've stepped into the shoes that you're in right now, and they can give you wisdom, but also be a teacher and allow you to take your own path with what they're teaching you. And that becomes the beauty. That becomes the beauty behind everything. So, if you're in it, you're acting, you're doing your thing, my encouragement to you is to find somebody. You might even be friends with somebody who needs to know some stuff. Share your experience. Get on Facebook, man. We have so many different Facebook groups nowadays to where you can share the light of your experiences, and so many people can benefit from it. I know, because I've done it multiple times. And just share it. And you'd be so surprised at how good you feel and how much of an impact it creates for everybody around you. With that being said, guys, I am gone. Have a wonderful Monday. Get after it. Good luck on your auditions. Good luck on the roles that you've booked where you're working. Have a wonderful day. Talk soon. Take care.